Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from across the world, it's finalist time! Hello! If you are just joining us, either here in person in Sydney, Australia, or if you decided to jump online and watch the live stream, congratulations and welcome to the EOS Hackathon Sydney. We are so excited to finally start to announce and go through the beginning of the closing ceremony. And most importantly, announce who our finalists are. For those of you who, again, maybe weren't here yesterday, a couple of key things that we want to talk through. We had over 200 different attendees who came out to go after the challenge that we set for all of the hackers yesterday, the Hack the Outback Challenge. The focus challenge was to create a DAPP on the EOSIO platform that will empower the public to play a role in sustaining natural environments for the future. Over 51 different teams competed, and over the last few hours, they've been pitching to an incredible group of judges. We've gotten a ton of different amazing announcements that come out of the event, including the seed funding announcement from EOSIO, $250,000 in VC funding per hackathon for 5 different projects from each event. In other words, $50,000 for each project. All you have to do is be one of the finalist teams. Now, what is everybody going after? Of course, if you've been here the whole time, you know, but in case you just joined us, you have 3 different superlative prizes that you can go after. Best social media post, best UX design, greatest social impact. Each of those is $3,000. And of course, the big prizes, $10,000, $25,000, and $100,000 USD. And travel to the EOS Grand Finale later this year. It's been a very exciting time. So as we mentioned, there were a huge group of first round finalists in the sense that we had 40 different teams who were actually pitching to the judges. We had a room here in the theater, we had another room over in the mentor booth, and from that group we have picked a top 10 group. However, unfortunately, we did not get a chance to truly meet our judges. So if you will join me in a quick round of applause as I start to introduce them. First, moving from the bottom right and going up, we saw him on Friday, but can we please get a warm round of applause from the World Wildlife Foundation? Reese Proudfoot, ladies and gentlemen. The managing director of Thinking Studio, Joe Chinkota. Joe, raise your hands. You heard her during the opening ceremony. She gave the Welcome to Country another warm round of applause, and she's been here almost the entire weekend, and she was with us the entire time in Hong Kong. She's almost the hackathon mom at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jane Thomason. And of course, if you had him, you were blown away by his questions. I really enjoyed watching him get involved with the teams. Johnny Hendrickson, ladies and gentlemen. Head of Technology with NSX Limited, the Managing Director of Tempus Adventus. Lena Lim, ladies and gentlemen. The CFO of Block.one, Andrew Bliss. And finally, the new group president of Block.one, Rob Jesudason, ladies and gentlemen. One more big round of applause for all of our judges. Now, this is a final reminder because what happens after this is we move immediately into the top 10 pitches. And when I say immediately, I mean the teams have not been informed who the finalists are. We're gonna go through what that's gonna look like in a second, but you have 4 different judging criteria that you need to make sure that you're hitting in your pitch. The first is the utilization of the EOSIO blockchain technology. The second is creativity. The third, impact. And the fourth, scalability. Each of these judging criteria are worth 5 points, which means a team could get a total of up to 20 points. There's a couple of different rules that we need to talk about. So again, we've already done the first round of judging. That began at 2, and we picked the top 10 teams from that, and they will be coming onto the stage. Once you come onto this stage, if I call your name, if your team is so lucky, you will join our team standing over here at the stage right side. You can see Maddie and Bryce walking over there now. Wave at Maddie and Bryce, everybody. Hello. You will join them over there and they will get you set up. Then you will start to walk up these stairs. If you are driving the demo, you will place your device here. And our handy-dandy cameraman, who I'm going to make wave to us, hello cameraman, is going to be showcasing your device here as well. Nothing to plug in, nothing needed. If you are the unlucky one who has to pitch, you will stand right here as a giant clock counts down to 3 minutes, from 3 minutes to 0. It's a huge clock, and it makes me happy. At that point, after the 3 minutes, your team will move away from the driving area and they will entirely come up here on the giant white X that we've made here on the stage so that the judges can ask you questions. And before they go any further, you will head off after the 2-minute judges Q&A and you will head off to find your seats once more. Those are the rules. And with that, I have one question left. Would you like to know who the finalists are, Sydney? I mean, like, that was nice. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like to know who the finalists are from EOS Sydney Hackathon for $145,000? That is so much better. We're going to be calling them up in a group of 3, and a group of 4. Our first 3 finalists. Please, can I get a warm round of applause for our first finalist? Team Sustain EOS, come on down! Sustain EOS, head on over to that side. Team Strauss, come on down! And the final of this round of finalists, we will be announcing 7 more in the near future. Team Purio, come on down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, judges, if you want to start to prep, your first team is going to be Sustain EOS. Sustain EOS, followed by Strauss and followed by Purio. Sustain EOS, if you want to start to make your way onto the stage. I just saw who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a fun story for you. So again, the teams have no idea they're about to be called on. This fine gentleman was one of our finalists in Hong Kong. In fact, he was the first finalist in Hong Kong. So this is the second time he's been the unlucky one to be first. Give him a warm round of applause for having to deal with that. So with that, Team Sustain EOS, let me know when you're ready.
I got to stand on the white
On the big
X.
white X,
Yes,
sir.
Okay. I think we're ready.
And ready? Great.
Oh, wait, I should check with my driver.
Oh.
1 second. You guys ready? Go team. Okay.
Judges, are you ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Okay, sustainable development, environment. This is the focus here. And it's a really narrow focus, and this is difficult. But I'm really excited to share with you guys a really incredible business model, like value proposition, that we've been able to design. And so I'm just going to kind of cut right into it. One of the problems that we face with solving the world's problems is the current sustainable environment organizations. The environmental organizations, they don't have enough funding for all the work that they want to do. And there's not enough people to do all the work of cleaning up our earth and kind of fixing all the problems. So what we devised is a decentralized application, and it only works really because EOS is much more scalable than any other blockchain. Here in this example, a brand that would normally use their CSR campaign funds, they can also now use their advertising and marketing spend to enter into a campaign. You guys throw the campaign on there? I think it was 100,000 t-shirts and $100,000 Patagonia is going to give. And they give it into the DAPP, but they earmark it so that only, and we're going to use the example, World Wildlife Foundation. So the World Wildlife Foundation, they are responsible for making sure these funds are put to good use, and the t-shirts are also put to good use as rewards. And so now, with this extra funds and these t-shirts, we can empower volunteers. This is where the kicker is. with the app, putting in volunteers' hands. Volunteers bring in their friends and they volunteer. There's available events happening all the time, and they can see how many green coins they're going to earn every time that they do something. So Emily Branson, she's done quite a few of these events. She's already earned 385 green coins, and she can go and choose rewards. And so the t-shirts end up as rewards that they can get. You can get other things like bicycles and jackets. These are great. The reason this is so powerful, and I want to come back to the brands and also the small businesses that can now get involved. When a brand wants to market and advertise their products, they want to put it in the hands of people that represent them. And so in this case, the volunteers that are doing this great work, these are great brand ambassadors for big brands like Nike and Patagonia. It's also the kind of people that you want to put your products in the hands of if you're a new business or you're a new brand selling like jewelry or anything. So this is an open marketplace, and the reason we needed blockchain is really important. Yeah, and other organizations have tried this kind of thing before, but the trust factor is really important. The scalability is really important, and also the transparency of funds moving through is really important. We think this will change the world, so thank you guys for letting us share.
Well done, guys. Sustain EOS, go ahead and grab your devices and come on up to the middle of the stage as Team Straw starts to set up. Judges, 2 minutes back on the clock for questions on my clock. Whenever you're ready, there's a mic waiting for you from the man in front of you. Just raise your hand.
So if I was a corporate brand looking to use your platform, and say I donate some t-shirts, do they just go into a general bucket for all the volunteers out there, or can I earmark them for specific locations, specific causes that I would like to push in line with my corporate brand?
That's a great question. So, actually, you want to answer this one? You're probably better at it than me.
Definitely. That's definitely an opportunity that's available, because some companies basically prefer a certain initiative over others. So with the technology enabled by EOS and the smart contracts, which can be modified, that's definitely a cause that can be enabled.
Yeah, you can definitely target any location you want. You might want your jackets to go to California, or you might want something really useful like bags of rice to go to sub-Saharan Africa. So there's definitely a really important need for your rewards to go to the right people and to motivate the right volunteers. But it's really the environmental organizations that know these facts and get to choose, and they choose which other organizations are added into the platform. So it grows in a very trustworthy way. The scale is also really important. I don't know how big your guys' budgets are, but we did some math for like taking just a pieces of advertising and marketing budgets.
45-second warning.
We can raise the full funding up to about $45 billion globally for all environmental organizations. I think that's like at least 50x what you guys are bringing in. So, yeah.
Judges, any other questions? All right, give it up one more time. Sustain EOS, ladies and gentlemen. As they come down the stage this way, and I will take their microphone. All right, next up is Team Strauss. Team Strauss, let me know when you're ready. All right.
Is it on?
Yes. All right, 3 minutes on the clock.
Hi, guys. So how do we help Australians that live in strata title properties make a positive impact on the environment? That's 50% of all Australians live in an apartment building. So if you didn't know, strata management industry is actually a massive $1 trillion industry. It's also known as Homeowners Association in America. So strata managers charge massive billion-dollar fees for carrying out community governance tasks that are actually best automated. So strata management is a perfect use case for EOS blockchain, because people need to vote, they need to approve budgets, they need to administer common funds, and they need to make proposals to constitutions. So that's why we at Strata, or Strata as a service, we built a blockchain-enabled website for property owners to self-govern. What that does is actually unlock $7 billion worth of value. So money that otherwise would have gone to strata managers stay within the buildings. And people can use them for things like installing solar or managing their recycling program. So at Strauss, we basically, over the weekend, built a live blockchain website. You can see that right here. And I'll just walk you through it. So I'm a property owner myself. And this is way better already after 2 days than anything that I have to engage with my current Strata manager. So we're going to first demonstrate an ability to create a proposal. So I want to change the constitution. It's a very transparent, accountable process. Other people have to vote on that. So that's all gone. But then another thing that I've noticed as I logged into my profile is that someone's put out a proposal for crowdfunding biofuel for our building. So previously, projects like a biofuel cell in your apartment building or solar were not possible at all. And that's because it's a massive capital expense and everyone has to agree. So if a couple people in the building don't agree, the project just doesn't go ahead. And I don't know how much you know about renewable energy, but basically people that live in apartments are left behind. Their costs are going up. So blockchain is great at transacting value. So if I want to contribute 80% of the cost of the biofuel cell, I can, and then I get 80% of the clean energy that's being generated. So here you can see that I'm contributing $1,000 to this project that has been initiated within my community, that's been accepted. Looks like I had the deciding vote, so the project is going ahead. This is democracy in action. So at Strauss, our mission is to turn our apartment buildings into sustainable powerhouses and to build $1 billion business on the back of it. And we'd like to invite you to join our mission. Thank you.
Well done, Strauss. And Strauss, as you guys want to start to come up onto the middle of the stage and grab your stuff as Team Purio starts to set up. Judges, I've reset the clock on my end for 2 minutes for any questions that you might have.
Yeah, thanks very much. I really like the idea of disrupting strata management, but what I would like a little bit of clarity on is how do you incentivize people who live in strata-managed apartments to actually invest in sustainable ecological enterprises? I just didn't get that quite incentive to have the biofuel or the solar. So where is the incentive to get people doing that?
So basically, the way things currently work is people get a budget approved, right? And it's run by the strata manager. And the strata manager is only interested in maximizing profits. They're not interested, and they can get fired at any point, right? So they're not really looking ahead 5 years' time. And certain projects like solar or biofuel might take a few years to actually recoup the cost. But if it's the council of owners that's making the decision, they can make more sustainable, longer-term decisions. And another bit of that is blockchain is just perfect for rewarding people and tokenizing certain incentives, right? So we don't have to have everyone contributing the same amount of money to a solar panel. We can have people contributing different amounts and some people not contributing at all. And all the money and all the value that's been generated from that shared asset is actually
45-second warning.
Proportionally allocated to people that have contributed the most. More questions, please?
So what is the value of blockchain here as opposed to doing it on a centralized website?
So blockchain, I think, is absolutely perfect. This is an example of governance requirement that has been historically carried out by a third party, and with a complete misalignment of incentives. Strata managers put in a margin on top of the budget. They're not interested in helping property owners reduce the budget. And it's basically for people can take control back of how they self-govern and how they manage their records.
And time. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Strauss. And Purio, come on this way, guys. Thank you so much. Purio, before you get started, I am going to announce the next set of finalists. So just one more moment over there. So we've seen our first three. We've seen Sustain EOS, our friendly Hong Kong finalist, who also had to go first here. Strauss, who just went, and of course Purio is up now. But let's talk about our next three finalists. Can I please get a warm round of applause, team? Token Tree, come on down! Again, if I call your name, make sure you're heading over to Maddie and Bryce over on the stage right side so they can work through the next pieces with you. Team Globe Square, come on down! And the last of this round before we announce our final four finalists a little bit later. Team Greenkeep, come on down! Green Keep, head right on over there, and we will go from there. Team Pirio, are you guys ready? Do you need this? Fantastic. All right. So Pirio, are you ready?
Yep.
Yep. Judges, are you ready? Great. 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hi, I'm Honora, and we are Team Pirio. Did you know that over 2/3 of our aquatic wildlife has been considered endangered because of the chemicals that's going into our waterways? In Australia, the Great Barrier Reef has lost half of its coverage since 1985, and we need to do something about this now. So what is the problem here? The problem is that we need access to reliable and transparent data in order to regulate the amount of chemicals that are in these waterways. So that's where Pirio comes in. Pirio is a solution to acquire data that has been verified and stored on the EOS blockchain that is immutable and that is immutable and decentrally captured. As such, the value of such a solution allows for us to capture data on the chemical compositions of the waters and reward relevant parties who are making positive changes in that direction accordingly. So over here, we can see Mark, and what he's doing here is setting up his IoT device and registering it on the EOS blockchain. So EOS is perfect for this because it allows for scalability. Because of the low transaction costs, it ties in really well with the use of IoT devices and the nature of what it is we're doing. So as you can see, because the water is clean, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera over there, but because the water is clean, the system goes green. And what's happening in the background? Green tokens are being minted this second. That's being sent to the EOS blockchain, which is going to be transferred over to the farmers. As such, now we'll observe that this water is now being polluted, and the system is starting to recognize that, and it goes red. So what's happening behind the scenes here?
45-second warning.
What's happening behind the scenes here? This data is being recorded and sent over to the EOS blockchain, which includes the location, the timestamp, as well as the data that's being collected. So the beauty of the solution is if it's scaled, we can recognize the health of an entire water system. And why do we need to do something about this now? The Queensland government has invested over $260 million just to monitor water quality today. And what we need is a solution that empowers the individuals to use this information and use this data in order to create the changes that they want to create to empower this change.
And time. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pirio. Pirio team, walk to the center of the stage, grab your devices as the next team starts to go up, but don't forget that the judges have questions for you as well. So Pirio team, if you want to grab your device as well. Judges, 2 minutes for questions.
Can you take me through the economic model a bit? Where do the tokens, the funding for the tokens come from?
Cool. So as you can see, like with the IoT devices, we're able to track data in real time. And with rivers, that's hard to fake. So we have a true source of information. And what we'll be doing is incentivizing farmers to get that green status on water passing their farms, because they don't want runoff going into the water, contaminating the water, and then it's all transparent, so they can be identified as harmful players in the ecosystem. So we want to incentivize to do good rather than not think about it at all.
And then these tokens can be used in order to get tax incentives. So they can be traded amongst the farmers to get tax incentives.
Any other questions?
So how would you summarize your distribution strategy for the hardware to actually get them in the field and start collecting the data?
Okay, cool. So me being from the Caribbean, I grew up in the water, so I feel like I know a little bit about how to deploy water solutions. This device would be encapsulated within a plastic float.
45 seconds.
That plastic float would be attached to a string, which is anchored to maybe a heavy block, like a concrete block. We want to make it a streamlined solution so that it's a lightweight solution that can be deployed by one single person so that it's scalable, and then it also incentivizes people to deploy them themselves because it's easy.
Any other questions? All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time. Purio!
Thanks, guys.
Purio, if you want to come down this way, come down this way. Thank you very much. As Team Token Tree takes the stage. So judges, this is Team Token Tree. Token Tree will give the judges just a moment to put their scores in. But Token Tree, while we're waiting, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fantastic. Judges, give me a thumbs up when you put the scores in. Thumb, 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 and thumb. 3 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
Go.
We are Team Token Tree, and we are making the world cooler. Now, I say team, but 2 of my team members have had to fly out. One at 6 a.m. this morning to New Zealand, another one back to the Gold Coast. But let's keep going. So deforestation in Australia is a major problem. It's 40% of our forests have almost gone. And as a result, Australia is the highest in the level of extinction on the planet. And this problem affects our water quality and our carbon emissions. It will cost our federal government $23 billion over the next 10 years to meet our climate change commitments. And we're solving this through Token Tree, and I'll tell you how in the demonstration today. We've created a gamified app that empowers millennials, who are our target market. We're empowering them to be individual and active around looking after trees. Now, it sounds a simple idea, but millennials want to see that transparency on the blockchain. They want to be able to go out and plant a tree, and what we are passionate about is seeing that that tree goes through to a proper life. There's too many planting efforts that you just see those trees just burn out and die. And we're looking to solve that. But we can't do it on our own. This is a solution that requires sponsors. So those sponsors come in the form of non-profit organisations, like decentralized organisations that run as foundations, and they need to clear their profits annually. And then there's other organisations like governments and and people on the ground that we're going to engage with to solve this problem on the ground for the distribution side. So this sponsorship comes in a few forms. I'll come back to the smart contract because it's quite a sophisticated one, and I'll walk you through that, and that is a working contract. But what I'll show you first is the app. So in the app, you can look around for sponsored locations. Now, in the real version of this, you'll be seeing logos of the different sponsors of each of these planting missions. And you can go through and have a look at that. There might be one nearby your house. You can have a look, see who's behind it, who the sponsors are, and then if you choose to plant that tree, that becomes your tree. You can then come by, it might be on your way to university or backwards and forwards to work. You can see a tree that's in your area, and you may choose to take on the looking after of that tree every once in a while. So you're providing a double role here. You're looking after the tree, and you're providing verification that that tree is still alive. And you can see the little block numbers up here. This is all being tracked on the blockchain. So now let's just go back a step and look at what's going on in the smart contract. So first of all, there's a sponsor, and they delegate a region. They say that this is an area that needs attention. They may do that with their partners to figure out what's needed on the ground. There's a geolocation, there's a radius.
15-second warning.
All right, and then they need to post that offer with an incentive of a bounty around looking after that area. Someone might come along and want to plant that tree. So this is all actions on the blockchain. I'll bring up the data behind this. And then we just move through, and then someone just walking past.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause.
Yeah.
Token Tree. Token Tree, go ahead and grab your device as well and come back over to the middle as Team Globe Square comes up on stage. Judges, you've got 2 minutes for questions for Team Token Tree.
Thanks, really interesting concept. So this is based on one person looking after one tree. To scale impacts, we're talking about thousands or millions of trees. How does this scale, and how can one person look after 1 million trees?
Sure. Great question. I'm glad you asked it because it didn't come through clearly in the presentation. One person is the planter, and then you've got other people who may choose to come by that tree. They may bring a couple of bottles of water. They'll do whatever they want to nurture that tree. Because it's all visible, no trees get left unattended. You could be walking past and get a push notification in an area that you frequent to say there's a tree in your area that needs attention. And this sounds like a lot of love, but there's so many trees that get planted out there in forestation efforts that just end up dying because there's just no water attended to them.
Just a quick question on the gamification. I kind of missed that in the presentation.
Sure. So the gamification is really around the tokens. Ultimately, people who are involved in this effort, particularly millennials, want to also be ultimately sponsors. So the more coins that they grow, they can ultimately become a sponsor as well and be visible. So the sponsorship is not just as organisations; it's also individuals. And back to that scaling question. Sorry,
45-second one.
Yeah, I didn't actually answer that completely. Internationally, obviously there would be partners involved in that, and also missions for areas that may not be as technologically advanced as what we are, but there'd be missions associated with that, and then training up of people in the area also to maintain that. Yeah. Any last questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
A warm round of applause. Token Tree, it takes a bold man to come up on stage when your team has to run. Token Tree, come on and exit this way. I'll take your mic. All right, judges, as you're putting your scores in, your next team will be Team Globe Square. Team Globe Square, as they start to get set up. Globe Square, if I can get a nod or a, are you ready? Fantastic. Judges, if I can get thumbs up as you finish putting your scores in. And that's unanimous across the board. So with 3 minutes on the clock, take it away.
Humanity relies on the biosphere, and the biosphere relies on humanity. But today, 24 billion tons of topsoil is being destroyed by land pollution. How does it happen? We got far from the land. We don't have it under our sight. We live in cities, and the land became this concept, this abstract concept that brings us food on our table. And we are going to change that. Let me introduce Globe Square. With Globe Square, we are decentralizing the ownership of land by allowing landowners to tokenize the surface of land and to sell it and offer it to the public. So how does it work? Here is an example. So this is Frank. And Frank is living in a big city. He doesn't have access to the land. And he would like to acquire a few square meters of land at an affordable price. So he's browsing different projects that are available in different continents. And he will choose, let's say, one of them. So he's going to Africa, for example, and he will choose, let's say, a project about zucchini. So as you saw, there is different price based on our cryptocurrency where you can buy those pieces of land. And here is the land that is tokenized. So what you see here is actually Blockchain Explorer. And so all those squares are recorded on the blockchain. He can buy them, and he can also trade them. He can buy extra services, like watering or services that are provided by local communities. And everyone is being rewarded with the same token. So we need the EOS blockchain because it's fast, and we want people to be able to use it as a game, like Farmville, but in real life. And the token, the owner of land have to submit to our rules in order to be listed in the same way as Uber drivers or Airbnb apartment owners. They have to make sure that
1 minute warning.
Everything is compliant to ecological concerns. So for example, no chemical, nothing that can violate the planet Earth. And so in the future, the continuity of this business relies on 3 key aspects. The first one is to expand the land and to attract more landowners. The second aspect is to get more people to buy, sell, trade, and to increase the activity on the platform. And the third one is to increase the transparency and to make the land visible by people by offering, for example, webcam services, live stream, all kinds of ways for the public to see what's going on the land. And by doing that, we are going to save the planet square by square.
Well done. Nice job, everybody. Globe Square, go ahead and grab your device and come on up to the middle as Team Greenkeep, you guys are going to start to get set up. Judges, 2 minutes back on the clock for you.
Thanks. This is just a point of clarification, actually. So, is there an ROI, is there a return on investment for the individual or the investor who buys that square of land based on the productivity of the land, or what's the business model?
Okay, so the business model, our niche initially is targeted for millennials, and the whole idea is the fact that, we're actually going to be allowing individuals to collectively to be able to do crowdfunding, to be able to buy individual parcels of land. The land is basically, you've got an entry point, so you could actually range from, say, 4 tokens all the way to, say, 10. That's an entry point. And then there's a subscription, monthly subscription model. So that could be from $2 a month all the way, say, to $10. And that goes for 12 months. And the whole idea is the fact that they have that opportunity to actually invest in and obviously help support the actual land to be cultivated and farmed. And if the land actually is able to produce and sell that land and sell the crops, 50% can go towards the investors and 50% can go to the equity owners. So therefore, we're basically encouraging young entrepreneurs to be able to have an opportunity to be able to earn a piece of land, be able to contribute and be able to support communities, local communities and be able to help sustainable environments.
Any other questions? All right, give it up one more time. Thank you. And head on down, guys. Thank you so much. And Greenkeep, before you guys get going, we have 4 finalists to announce. Now, just a couple of notes. 1, even if you're not selected as a finalist, don't worry. There are 3 different prizes that don't have anything to do with the finalist. Just as a reminder, that is all the Superlative Prizes. The best social post, the greatest social impact, and, of course, the best UX design. In addition, you are all welcome to join us for the happy hour, which will take place immediately after the prizes. So, just a couple of notes. But with that, there can be only 4 more. Our final finalists from the EOS Sydney Hackathon for those top 3 prizes are, in no particular order, please give a warm round of applause. Team Smart Press, come on down! Remember, folks, once you get called, head on over to this side where Maddie and Bryce will take care of you. Team Pollinate, come on down! Team Langchain, come on down! That's the excitement I like to see from a team. And our final finalist for today. Another warm round of applause, please. Team Journey, come on down! All right, those guys are going to get set up and we will watch our final finalist pitch. But before we do, Team Greenkeep. Sorry, Team Globe Square, not Greenkeep. No, I was right the first time. Team Greenkeep, are you ready?
Testing. All right, sweet.
Fantastic. Judges, I'm assuming you guys are ready this time. Fantastic. 3 minutes on the clock, go.
All right, so the problem is that our population grows by 1.14% every single year. Our global food yield increases by 2% every year. We have never had such unparalleled access to food in human history than now. So why are we still starving? Why do we waste 1/3 of the global food yield every year? That's 1.3 billion tons of food going to waste. And how do we empower the individual to make an impact on such a global problem? Well, we hope to answer that by the end of our speech. So think of me as an organic farmer. I have a farm. I already have collection points throughout my farm to scan smart ID tags and push that information into the blockchain. So we're going to simulate the collection point on the left phone here. Cool. So just imagine that this was a batch of livestock that went through a collection point and all the ID tags were scanned. So now as a potential client, I can load up the DAPP on the right screen and I can fetch all that relevant biometric data that I need to make an informed purchase. So already you can see the batch size, the batch date, the location, the distance that the cow has walked every day, the weight, ages, and so forth. So as a supplier, I'll be looking for different data than someone who's going to a restaurant to consume. However, in our app, all of it is there. So in terms of the middlemen, so exporters, importers, suppliers, and restaurants, they'll be able to see clearly everyone around them that is producing what they need, and they can order it. So they are no longer restricted to what is locally grown around them. In terms of clients and customers, when you go to an organic restaurant, there's always going to be a fear that what you're buying is not as it is described. Have you ever went to Coles and bought free-range eggs and just be like, this is probably caged? Yeah. So restaurants suffer that too. So, and how this works is it's going to be impacting threefold, both in the production capacity, the consumption capacity, and middlemen. And what we aim to do is make it more efficient, reduce costs, keep food low, so that a growing middle class can be able to afford organic, fresh food and not have to price everyone else and not being able to afford it. Okay, I'll go on for like 10 more seconds. Yeah,
10-second warning.
Yeah, thank you.
Give it up! That's a way to end a pitch. Greenkeep, if you guys want to come up onto the middle stage as the next team starts to make their way over. Judges, 2 minutes back for you for questions.
From a scaling point of view, obviously it'll start off, envisages a very niche market. Where do you see the way to be able to scale this into a truly massive global business?
Yeah, okay. So right now, with our smart ID tags, an example that we gave is very applicable to like livestock. But it just doesn't stop there. All relevant information such as like water usage, power usage, soil fertility, it's all being stored on the blockchain. And not just for animals, can be horticultural, arable land, fisheries, and so forth. So not only can businesses who are purchasing this make informed decisions, regulatory bodies who are in charge of enforcing environmental laws can see clearly all the data of not only small and medium farms, but the large international conglomerations.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. In terms of you mentioning about how you collect the data and everything, so but what is it actually your business model? How actually you're going to offer to accept the data collection?
Okay, so right now in agricultural technology and smart farms, the infrastructure is already there. There is multiple automated systems such as robots and scanners and even drones that collect not only
45-second warning.
Not only numerical data, but human generated data. So what this does is that we're going to be able to act as a repository for data, and we can continue as a software as a service to farms, also as a big data repository for economic modelers and, as I said, environmental companies. So all the infrastructure is just there. We're literally just collecting it all, putting it onto the blockchain instead of separated into proprietary servers. And this way, everybody has access to it. It is immutable. It is open forever. No one can tamper with this information.
Thank you.
And with that, give it up one more time. Team Greenkeep. Team Greenkeep, come on and walk this way. I will grab the mic from you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. All right, Team Smart Press, you guys are getting set up as the judges put their scores in. Team Smart Press, are you ready? Yes. Fantastic. Judges, give me thumbs up when you're ready. And that's a unanimous from the judges. So with 3 minutes on the clock, Smart Press, to you, go.
As we all learn more about blockchain, we all strive to make change with it. But one key thing that our team identified at the start of this project is most people can't take the time to learn something really, really complex like C++ and building smart contracts and understanding the cryptography behind it and the use cases. But a lot of people have really good ideas that aren't, that they can't implement themselves, so they would go to another person to implement it, a contractor, if you will. The thing about blockchain contractors are they are highly sought after. They're really hard to find, and they charge through the roof because of their services that are so rare. So what we came up with was a solution for a fictional character named Jim. Jim is my friend, even though he's a fictional character, and he had a problem where he was trying to build a geomapping service that used a distributed system, so anybody in the world could write to it sections of land that they'd like to remain protected. Maybe in their past, when they were children, they had really fond memories there, and they know that this land is really important to the local community, and things such as this. So Jim wanted to do this, but he can't write a smart contract himself, and he can't afford to get a smart contract written for him because it would cost him upwards of $10,000 or high contractors that he probably can't even find. So we built a system that allows him to build his smart contracts in a graphical user interface. Yes, he can build his database without writing one piece of code and deploy it to the blockchain, all within our system. So you can change the number of columns, you can change the name, and you can change the types and names of the columns.
1 minute warning.
So we've got here a north, south, east, west indicator and a reason for the reason that somebody would like to protect the land. We generate the database. It's generated, compiled, and uploaded to the blockchain within about 10 seconds. And now we can go to Jim's application that he's hooked up to our generated database. You can set the parameters that we just allowed inside our database. You can set your preservation reason that you'd like to preserve this area and the threatened species, and you can submit it. And so the reason that we did this without coming up with an idea that's exactly perfect to save the planet, what we thought was, let's empower the people who do have the educational knowledge to solve the problems to build their own solutions without having to learn C++, without having to spend a lot of money, a lot of trial and error.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for Smart Press. Smart Press, if you want to grab your device and walk towards the middle of the stage to join your pitcher as the next team, Team Pollinate, starts to come onto the stage. Judges, 2 minutes of questions for you for Team Smart Press. Judges, any questions?
So one of the questions I'd had earlier was around how does like a non-technical person wrap their head around a smart contract through your user interface?
So through our interface, we basically declare it just like it would be a database. So a lot of people, I think, today would understand what a database does. You can send information to it, it can be stored, and you can delete and create things. With our database, users can control the rows that they own, and the system, there is a little bit of education that is needed, but yeah, I would argue that most people understand how generally a database works. You're sending data to it, you're sending it back, and it's stored in a distributed fashion. In the future, I see this as a kind of ubiquitous thing where we all assume things are going to be distributed in some fashion, and we're going to have some control over our user data. So this idea might be a little novel now, but very soon I feel like this is going to scale to a lot of different people as they come up with ideas and realize that they can just deploy these things like they would a AWS server or something. So perhaps people like JavaScript developers who don't know the low-level tech skills of C++ can really come up with a lot of ideas and a lot of sustainable
45-second warning.
Are there any other questions?
No questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Team Smart Press. All right, Team Smart Press, you can come on down this way as Team Pollinate starts to take the stage. Judges, this is Team Pollinate on your judging board. Team Pollinate, are you ready?
Sure. Yes.
All right. Judges, thumbs up if you're ready. Across the board, 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
The best way to predict the future is for you to create it. According to the Australian Conservation Fund, 50%, the environmental conservation funding, 50% of that has been cut. So what does that mean for us? Just close your eyes and imagine what it's like to turn on your taps and dirty water comes out. You're fighting for clean energy. The wildlife is going extinct. Now open your eyes. How did you feel about this world? Think about it. At Pollinate, we are supporting a sustainable future by making it fun and rewarding. And we're doing this by incentivizing individuals and donors to get collectible digital assets so that acts as a representation of their social impact. So really what we're creating is a blockchain collectible game. So how does this work? So let's get WWF as an example. And they're running a campaign to save the bees. So me as a donor, I'm going to donate some money, and then I'm going to get a unique bee. The more money I donate, the more of a chance or probability that I'll get a rare digital asset. Let's make it a rare queen bee with unique features, because I want to be a queen bee. And as I collect all these different assets, I'm going to get a hive. And in this hive, it's going to record all the support and the causes that I'm contributing to. So really, I can really show off to my friends all the things that I'm doing. How good is that? So CryptoKitties, they're an amazing and excellent use case for us because it has shown the value of digital scarcity. People like me, as a millennial, I love unique digital assets. Also, traditionally, incentives have been in physical form. So think back to your childhood days, right? So you got a Happy Meal and you get a little toy. That's cool. We go to Coles these days, you get a mini plastic toy if we spend $30. How cool is that? But what we have done is this blockchain collectible game where it's sustainable and scalable. So what's the market at? There are 54,000 charities in Australia. There are 1.2 million globally. So if all these charities are running multiple campaigns, this means that we've got exponential growth and impact, especially on social impact. So with blockchain, the reason why blockchain has been, peaked, especially.
And time. Give it up for Team Pollinate. And Team Pollinate, if you want to grab your device and come into the middle of the stage so judges can ask questions as the next team, Team Langchain, starts to come up. Judges, 2 minutes for questions from you.
So how do you make the decisions about what charities to channel your funds to that you raise?
Yeah, so firstly, we will go to the Australian Charities Board, and they've listed 54,000 charities, so they're all validated through that. I also used to work at Cancer Council and a couple other charities, so that's how we would get them on board. I've also worked closely with WWF, so I know that they've got 1 million people in their database in Australia and also 10,000 across the world.
Do you foresee several charities giving out the same type of digital asset, or each charity, each cause, customizing their own?
So our smart contract actually has support for multiple species to have different sponsors. And these different sponsors can be like, for example, Samsung sponsoring a frog, and maybe Apple sponsoring a dog, for example. So, I mean, we can also set different rarities for these species, and they can design their own different designs.
45-second warning.
For example, the Apple dog might be really white and bland, but yeah. I don't know. So, but yeah, lots of possibilities with sponsorship and designs and campaigns. So.
Any other questions? All right, give it up for Team Pollinate. All right, Team Langchain. Team Langchain, you guys are up. Haven't seen anybody breathe into a mic in a while. That was fun. Team Langchain, on the white mark, please. Team Langchain, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Judges, are you ready? For our penultimate team, 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hi, we are Team Langchain from South Korea, and we're going to introduce EV Chain, Decentralized Electricity Exchange Platform. There is challenge, the crisis of megacity. There is the big problem, the air pollution. And many of us think EV as the big solution of this problem. What we need is charging stations. And now there is not enough charging stations, and the lack of charging stations prevent the spread of EVs. Because of what? It is high infra cost. Then what about decentralizations of electric supply? Actually, there is already potential charging station in your. It is in this world. It is your home. It can be, and the key is we solving this problem on EOS blockchain ecosystem. And we lost some reasons why blockchain and EOS. First, readable accounts. Second, initial reward. Third, transparency. And the last one is decentralization. Let's see our demo. It is clean and easy and simple to use. Look, Maru needs to find some electricity stations to charge. But the only electric station that Mr. Maru found is too far and so expensive that let us wait a little bit for Maru. Oh, Mr. Youngson, currently gonna register a new recharging station.
1 minute warning.
Oh, I see. Mr. Youngson used a plug registered with QR code, and the new station is completed. He used a QR code light, and there was a token that he could use by using Mr. Maro's EVT to be recharged, and the Youngson's one EVT is elevating at the same time. And this is the way of solving the supply problem by giving tokenized incentive to public. And then we lost some economic model for EV electricity market. And also token economy for electricity, vehicle electricity market. And we're gonna expect the market strategy.
And time. Team Langchain, grab your device and walk up to the X on the screen. Grab the device on there so we can get set up for the next team, please. All right, judges, 2 minutes to ask questions to Team Langchain. Any questions?
So this is for people who have electric cars?
Yes, it is absolutely. And the electric car is, we think it is itself, electric car is good for environment preservation. So it is only for electric car users.
What's your strategy for getting more people to buy electric cars?
Yes, so we are lowering price of the electricity supply. That is our, and more electricity supply infrastructures. That is our strategy.
Any other questions?
Up one more time, Team Langchain. Thank you guys so much. I'll take that mic from you. All right. And last but certainly not least, our final team of the day, Team Journey. Team Journey, are you ready? Judges, are you ready? 2 thumbs up. 3 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up. And we are ready. Team Journey, 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hi, we're Team Journey, and we've got a passion for pine. So wood and timber is actually one of the most sustainable materials for designers to use. And we actually want to encourage more designers to use it. The problem is that illegal logging of forest is devastating the world's biodiversity. Right now, 80% of the world's historic forests are already removed, 80%. And it's predicted that the remainder, within the next 10 to 20 years, 40% will also be destroyed. And that's a significant problem. And what we want to do is, on Journey, is actually facilitate the reduction of deforestation. And we're doing that through Journey. And why is that important? And why is it important to be on the blockchain? It's because countries like Australia, the EU, the USA, and Canada have already moved to ban the imports of illegal timber. And they're also adding certification requirements at import level. So let me show you Journey and the 3 T's, which is traceability, transparency, and trustworthiness. So what happens, the process, is that we've got existing certification bodies already out there, bodies like CertiSource and Double Helix and FCA. And what they do is they upload a DNA sample that's sample tested across the population of trees on the site. And that'll actually be put on the immutable blockchain, on the distributed ledger. And what you can actually see here, these are areas that's going to be traced back to the source, directly to the origin forest. The trees in green and yellow are the sources. So what we can actually do is tie back for an individual purchase of a tree like this. So you can see as a consumer that it's sourced from areas that are yellow, and yellow are areas that are legal logging areas, green and national forests.
1 minute warning.
Those are reduced, and you can actually guide all the way through the supply chain. It's fully transparent, and it's sample tested throughout the sample chain with the certifying bodies. So at no point is there going to be a chance to slip and change. That is currently the problem with the paper and tag frameworks that are the existing systems that import bodies use. So all the way to the end of the retailer, we can have with an RFID code to engage a consumer, actually tag and check the ID. And you can actually see at the bottom here 4 stars. Because we know the journey throughout the supply chain, we can actually assign a carbon journey as well. And then you can make decisions accordingly to that. So for instance, we want you to come on our journey with us to actually help deforestation.
10 seconds. Oh, and time! Give it up for Journey, ladies and gentlemen. All right, as the rest of their team walks up, judges, for your final set of questions.
How easy or difficult do you think it will be for existing supply chains to adopt and implement this technology?
So the large countries, like I mentioned already, have already made these requirements for certification. And at the moment, the illegal logging industry is $30 billion a year in revenue. So clearly, they're not working, and people are exchanging systems throughout. So we think it's quite easy because it's mandated by law, but it's a requirement. There's already bodies out there in the field.
Yeah, and so DNA sampling right now, it's about $20 a sample. I wouldn't bet on that going up. It's just going to keep going down. And obviously, an entire tree can make a lot of these chairs.
Sorry, how do you reconcile the sampling of, because remember, sampling is literally just one out of many. How do you reconcile the sampling of one to, say, a group on the blockchain?
So the sampling is across a volume, so it's proportional. And so there's going to be greater sampling for larger acreages.
Yeah, and I guess our goal is that we sample every tree, and it's cost effective to do that. Otherwise, yeah, statistical methods to ensure with a fairly good chance that it's coming from the right source.
So at the moment, it costs $250 to actually to test $450,000 worth of timber. So that's a really good ratio. It's very cost effective. $250 for $450,000 worth of timber. It's already existing systems and technologies.
Excellent, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, give a warm round of applause for Team Journey. And give a warm round of applause for all the finalists, because that's it. No more demos, we are done. Here's what's going to happen next. Judges, please grab your iPads and start walking immediately to the back where you will meet Maddie and myself so we can take you down to room 4-7. So, judges, start walking immediately back there. We're going to take the judges back and we're going to deliberate on not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 different prizes. One more time in case you've forgotten. $3,000 for the best social prize, $3,000 for the best UX design, $3,000 for the greatest social impact, $10,000 plus travel for the third place team, $25,000 in travel for the second place team, and $100,000 in travel for the first place team. In the interim, we are going to leave you with some other exciting announcements. We have a couple of announcements from EOS VC and Brian Mailer specifically. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. We will be back. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for all being here. My name is Brian Mailer. I'm with Block.one's EOS VC team, and I want to say, for those of you who don't know, EOS VC's mission is to deploy capital into projects building on EOSIO, just like everyone here today at the hackathon. And in addition to that, we have recently announced our latest initiative of Hack Pitch Launch to overwhelming excitement, where projects are eligible to receive, that were built to this weekend, $50,000 to help get their products from pitching to launching here in Australia and leave a lasting impression on Australia's blockchain community by Block.one. In addition to that, I have other really exciting news for you today from a project built here in Australia that I want to bring on stage to talk about what they're doing, and that is Kane from Haven.
Hey guys. So this has been super exciting for me. I watched a bunch of the projects do the early pitches, and then obviously the top 10 finalists. And I think watching these projects and looking at what they're trying to do, creating incentives for people to do the right thing, conservation, has been amazing to see today. I think that one of the probably most exciting things about blockchain is the ability to build new systems that will allow us to do things that we can't do right now, that we do really inefficiently. And as an infrastructure project, Haven is trying to facilitate that. We're trying to help projects to basically decouple payments and decouple pricing from the rest of their project. So we're looking to help DApps build new systems and to be able to price them in currencies that people get. So in Australia, we want to see DApps be able to build things and price it in Australian dollars, for example. And that's ideally what stablecoins are designed to do. And we are super excited to announce that we are going to be the first stablecoin to be building on EOS. We're already a live project. We're already live on the Ethereum mainnet, but we're going to be porting across to EOS in the next few months. So that's super exciting for us because we, again, want to be supporting the ecosystem in Australia. We want to be supporting people who are building dApps. And so announcing our intention to come across to EOS and support the EOS ecosystem is amazing. But to see how many people are here today, the depth of projects and all the engineers who have spent so much time this weekend is awesome. So super excited to be announcing that. We'll have a bunch more details over the next few weeks. But yeah, we'll see you on EOS.
We have not one, we have not two, we have not three, four, five, six, but 7 different prizes that we need to give away. But before we do anything, please give a warm round of applause for yourselves to make it all the way through this very long hackathon. Well done. And with that, I will not keep you in suspense any longer because I am the only thing now between you and alcohol. And I learned that lesson long ago. So with that, we are going to move immediately into the first of our prizes, starting with the most valuable mentor prize. You guys had an amazing group of mentors that you could work with, but only one can walk away with this prize. To hand the prize off, the winner of the Hong Kong Most Valuable Mentor, also voted Best Hair at the Hackathon. Jay Chang, ladies and gentlemen. So, for Jay to pass this off, we need to know who it goes to. If I announce any of you guys tonight, please make sure to just come up onto the stage. But for our first one, a warm round of applause. The Most Valuable Mentor is Tim McCollum. Come on down. Well done, Tim. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, guys. You're the most valuable mentor, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And with that, it is time to go into our 6 big prizes. The top 6 overall prizes. And we need to start with the best social post. If I can please get the best social post check. Now remember, you were tasked with having just to put out something with the EOS Hackathon hashtag. It could be on Twitter, it could be on Instagram, it could be pretty much anywhere. But only one person can walk away with it. So now we will give that away. The winner of $3,000 for the best social post is, a warm round of applause, please, Alfred Juke. Come on down. Well done, Alfred. Thank you so much for $3,000. Hold your check, sir. Get some pictures. Well done. Now, if anybody wants to know what it looked like, we have it right here, the thing that actually won the $3,000, the best social post. How cool is that? Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause. Alfred, everybody. Right over here. All right. 1 down, 5 to go. And now it's time to talk about the best UX. This was tough, and the mentors really had to deliberate on this, but it really came down to something incredibly beautiful. I hope that you guys will join me in applauding for $3,000. The team voted with the best UX by your mentors was Team Green Fix. Come on down! Come on up, sir. Well done. Take your check, you gotta grab it. And once again, if you wanna know what eventually made us decide to make this work, we're gonna pop it up on the screen. This incredible UX design really showed us that GreenFix knew exactly how the user was thinking about the stuff from the very beginning, and it's what drove the mentor that way. One more time, a warm round of applause. Our best UX winner, GreenFix, ladies and gentlemen. So Team GreenFix, if you can stay down there, we want to get some pictures and video with you in just a bit, and we'll do that with all of our prize winners from now on. All right, and next up, we have the Greatest Social Impact Award. Now, this award was decided by 2 specific folks of our judges, Dr. Jane Thomason, one of our favorites, and of course, we heard him talk on Friday. He's going to come up and briefly explain the rationale behind this. A warm round of applause. Reese Broadfoot, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Yeah, huge congratulations to Block.one. Has it just been given away?
Nope.
All right, should we pretend like it wasn't? Okay, all right, so this is a really tricky theme to hack on, and I just wanted to say a huge congratulations to everyone in the room, because there are some really big problems we're facing globally, and everyone here today contributed to us taking a step towards solving some of those problems, so well done. The winner for this one was someone that really thought about digging into the problem statement, which was about connecting the public with the issue in an inspirational way. Someone with great UX, a team that have really thought about how to connect an individual with a problem in a really fun and engaging way. So I want to say a big congratulations to Team Yumby.
Team Yumby, come on down! Nicely done, guys. Hold on to this. Well done, well done. Thank you guys so much. And again, one more big round of applause. The last of our Superlative Prizes for Team Yarnby, and of course, for Mr. Reese Proudfoot. Thank you so much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. Again, guys, if you want to just pop right over there so that we can get some pictures and video with you in a bit. But with that, there are no more superlatives to give. It is time to talk through the top 3 prizes. Now again, all 3 of our top prizes will be getting their cash prize that's talked about, but also travel to the EOS Grand Finale at the end of the year in a location yet to be specified, but it's going to be awesome. The first of our 3 prize winners is going to be the check being brought up by EOS VC's Brian Mailer, who's given us many great announcements over the weekend. Give it up for Brian really quickly. Our 3rd place team, the winner of $10,000 and travel to the grand finale. Our 2nd runner-up is, a warm round of applause, Team Token Tree, come on down! Nicely done, Team Token Tree. Give it up, one more round of applause, folks. Our first of the top 3 prize winners. And Team Token Tree, what I want you to do is just stand right over there so that we can get some great shots of all of the winning teams. As Brian goes to receive the next prize, I'm going to walk you through it again. This is our 2nd place team, our first runner-up. This team is going to be walking away with $25,000, and again, a trip to that EOS Grand Finale at the end of the year. The winner of the 2nd place team, the first runner-up, is, a warm round of applause, Team Green Keep, ladies and gentlemen! Well done! Well done! Well done! Over there! Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our 2nd team. The first runner-up, $25,000, and you guys stand right there. And with that, there can be only one left. The grand prize, the winner of $100,000 US. And a trip to the grand finale. This check being brought up by one of our major sponsors for these events, someone I would like your help in thanking as he comes up, the CFO of Block.one, Andrew Bliss, ladies and gentlemen. He carefully brings the check up better than I did earlier. All right, and with that, it is time. Our final prize winner, our grand prize winner, and the final award for the EOS Hackathon Sydney goes to, by unanimous decision of the judging group, Team Smart Press, come on down! Our grand prize winning teams, the winner of $100,000 and a trip to the grand finale, Team Smart Press. Give it up for Team Smart Press, Team Green Keep, Team Token Tree, all of our winners from the EOS Hackathon Sydney. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show that we have for you tonight. We would love for you guys to grab your stuff and join us out in the foyer for drinks and food. With that, Sydney, it has been an absolute pleasure. My name is Brian Collins. Good night!